Hey everybody, Derek here to bring you another video for our Walking Dead countdown to the Season 5 premiere. Today we are exactly 11 days away from the upcoming 5th season premiere. We're getting closer, getting very excited to see what they have in store for us. And for all of you that are, staying up to date, you want to know information, I have some information that I received from a website that basically states the first 4 episode titles and a synopsis for each one. So not only do we get a title, but we also get a little description about what the episode is going to be about. So I'm going to do a video doing the first 4, giving my thoughts on that, and just going from there. So anyways, if you guys are trying to keep in the dark about any spoilers, you're the type of person that doesn't want to know, you don't want to be spoiled, do not watch this video because I don't want to ruin anybody's 5th season for them. I know that everybody has their own views about whether they want to find out information or whether they want to remain silent about it, and I totally respect that. So if you don't want any spoilers, last chance, don't watch the video. Okay, so we know probably from other media and from other sources, we know the first 3, and in fact I've done videos on those, but they were without the synopsis for each of those. So as we know, the first episode is called No Sanctuary, and the synopsis states, the true motives of the Terminans come to light. Rick and the others end up in a situation. Kind of a little vague, and these kind of are, but they also give us a little bit of an idea of where the storyline's going. So we at least know for a fact that right off the bat, we're going to know who these people are. We have a lot of questions about them. Are they cannibals? Why are they holding people? Why are they, so cult-like? What are they about? What's their plan? We don't know. And there's more to them than meets the eye. This isn't just, like in the comics, the cannibals were just a group of people. They didn't seem to be like a cult. They were just a group of people who realized that they needed to survive, and the only way to do that was to eat people, because they couldn't hunt worth anything, and the supplies were getting very low. So, we know there's more to them, and I think that what we're going to see is, we're going to see Rick and the others end up, they're already in the boxcar, and obviously we've seen footage from the trailer that shows that they're lined up, and somebody's going to be, with a baseball bat, potentially killing them, or somebody else comes by and kills them. So, we at least know that something's going to happen in this episode, that we will at least know who the Terminus people are. And we're also going to know that Rick escapes. That's already been released in other media. We know that Rick's group is going to get out of the Terminus place already, and they're going to go and go wherever at this point. I mean, if their plans go to Washington, whatever, but they will at least escape from Terminus in that episode. Episode 2 is called Strangers, and it states, Rick leads a risky mission for a possible small reward when the supplies run low. So one of the things that we look at is maybe one of 2 things here. One, we realize that maybe their plan is to go to Washington, and they're going to need a lot of stuff if they want to get there. I mean, you can't just travel all that distance in the Walking Dead world. I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that, because you can't just stop and get fuel wherever. And then the other thing is that you're trying to navigate these roads that are full of cars, full of, debris, blockage, walkers, what have you. And you can't just go a normal route that you might normally go in an average everyday world like today. So it's obvious that they're going to need some supplies if they want to get there. And we know in the trailer they've showed them going to what I believe was a fire hall. You see a fire truck outside, and the group goes there, and you see these walkers down in this water, like it's almost like the place got flooded and there's electricity or whatever the case may be. So it looks like it's a big risk because there's a lot of walkers in there. There's a lot of walkers in the area. They're being followed potentially by the Terminus people. So I'm definitely interested to see what they have in store. And again, I think that Strangers is a big indication that, we're going to perhaps run into Father Gabriel in this episode as a stranger to the group. Plus, you might also see the various relationships that are already made come, clash with each other. We already know that Rick and Abraham are going to be at odds. We've seen that in the trailer where their ideals are not going to necessarily mix. And you might see Rick, putting up a front, realizing who's in his group and who's a stranger. Because you could argue that Tara, Abraham, Rosita, Eugene, and eventually Father Gabriel will all be strangers. Carol may even be a stranger for all we know. But they may band together because their interests are the same, and they've all been, united because of the fact that the Terminus people are out to get them. But it doesn't necessarily mean that their relationships are going to start out really great. And adding new people to the group is always going to present some kind of a, risk. It's going to, cause tempers to flare, clashes of personal ideals about what we're supposed to do. I mean, that's just the way that it's going to be. So I think that that's something that we're going to lead to here. And I think that at the end of that episode, we're going to run into Father Gabriel at some point, or it might happen at that point, and then we're going to get to the church, because we have Four Walls and a Roof as the third episode. And it states Rick and the others find themselves pitted against a group of nasty people. Very vague. And for all we know, that might mean that there's a completely separate group of people out there somewhere that causes them problems, or it could be referring to the people at Terminus. My hope is that they're referring to the Terminus people, and I'm more likely to think that way because of the fact that the trailer shows that Gareth is inside of the church at some point. Now, whether he actually talks to the people at in the church or not, we don't know. Again, things, how the trailer is. Trailers in the past for Walking Dead have liked to mislead us, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's okay to, think that something's going to happen and they completely blindside you, because that's the element of surprise. I mean, we thought that Rick and the governor's group was going to meet up earlier than we actually thought, and they didn't. It wasn't until the mid-season, and we thought that somebody was attacking the cell block when it was just a virus. So, for all we know, Gareth may never even meet up with these people, or he might only meet up with a couple of them, not as a big group. So, we may see that at the church something happens where they're basically stuck there behind four walls and a roof because they have nowhere else to go. Again, it's like I don't know what the figure of speech would be, but, four walls and a roof, metaphorically, there maybe that kind of, but it kind of seems like it's safe, but it can also be your prison. And, if the Terminus people are doing things to Rick and the group at this time, or they're at the church, they're trapped there. Because they're clearly outnumbered. They have no idea who these people are, and the Terminus people have home field advantage. I mean, they know the area. They know that they can take these people back to Terminus and do bad things to them. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm hoping and I'm believing that this means that, they run into Father Gabriel, and, they find out some things about him, and perhaps that they do end up, coming head to head at the people from Terminus come to the church, and some things happen there. So we'll have to see what happens, but that's my prediction there. Now, episode 4, I have not received information about this one until I saw the source. Episode 4 is called Slab Town, and it reads, "Things appear safe and nice, but there is a bit of a dark side for another group of survivors." Now, this is where I think that we're going to see Beth's storyline be reintroduced into the TV show, because we know that Beth is separated from the rest of the group, and Beth, is at this place where it appears that there's, doctors and patients, and something's going on here, and there's a police officer that whacks her upside the head. So my guess is that maybe at first these people, come off as, hey, this is a nice little community, and welcome, hi, how you doing? And then all of a sudden Beth walks in and goes, yeah, by the way, we kind of lied to you, bam, and they do whatever they do to her. So it's like things may seem to be okay, but it turns out they are harboring a deep, dark secret. And I think we kind of realized that when we saw the trailer. I mean, these people are not necessarily doing the best of things. I mean, you see, somebody being held down, an arm being cut off. I mean, things were going on in that trailer that just, they don't normally happen in a nice, safe community. So it's pretty clear they have something going on there, but I think that is where Beth's storyline is going to be reintroduced, And my hope is that I'm assuming that this episode is just going to be dedicated to Beth and her captors, which I'm okay with. But my hope is that it's the only episode that they solely focus on with Beth and that group, and that in the next episode and the ones after that, they do both Rick's group and Beth's group. Because in my opinion, again, I hope that they learned from their mistake, in my opinion, with the governor's storyline when you did episodes 6 and 7 back to back, and it was just so boring, in my opinion. I mean, when I watch it as a whole, again, as I always say, when I watch Walking Dead as a whole, absolutely great show, great storylines, it flows well, and I really enjoy it. But when you have to wait a week to watch something, and you get, you know, live bait and dead weight back to back, you're kind of disappointed because you kind of know what's going to happen. And I'm hoping that they've learned from this, because I think that, you have a lot more storyline ideas going on with Rick's group than you do with Beth. And I feel like they could potentially run into that problem where if they're not featuring enough of the cast members, it's going to get boring. And I think that that was part of the problem, was you didn't see Rick, you didn't see Daryl, you didn't see Michonne, you didn't see Herschel, or any of them in those 2 episodes with the governor. And I think that that's what killed that mojo, in my opinion. But if you're able to segue in and you do half the episode towards Beth and half the episodes towards Rick's group after this, it'll be great. So definitely excited. I think they have a lot of things to look forward to with these synopses, and I'm really excited. So thanks again, everybody, for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I have plenty more video ideas coming up, and don't be afraid to suggest any video topics that you want. I'm always open to suggestions. You guys are the ones that are watching. I want to know what you guys want to hear. That's all that matters at this point, is making sure that I'm delivering videos that you guys want to hear and you guys are willing to watch. So if you have any comments, if you have any topics, suggest them. I am more than welcome to do any video that anybody wants on Walking Dead. So thanks, everybody, and I really hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you.